Howdy, my name is Troy and welcome back to the Addicted Motors YouTube channel. Welcome back to the channel. We're going to do a video that I've been putting off for a while now, and that's going to be pulling out the carpet in my 96 F250 Powerstroke and replacing it with some rubber vinyl. I could have replaced it with factory black or factory gray, but I went with the factory kind of vinyl flooring that just doesn't require any maintenance or doesn't really get nasty. I'm also going to put down some sound deadening stuff, and this has just been a project I've been putting off for a while. It takes a lot of time. I don't have that much time to go and pull the whole interior out, but that's what I really have to do today. So we're going to get the seats out, we're going to get the rear seat out, and look at some of those mounts, make sure it doesn't need any hardware replace, and address any rust or issues that we find. So let's check it out. So the truck itself just got back from getting some service done. I did the transmission fluid. I did the 3,000 mile oil change after the motor was rebuilt, and did the rear diff fluid. So, you know, little stuff like that helps give the warm fuzzy for longevity for these big old trucks. And of course, the door is locked for some reason, but that's not what this video is about. Here is the existing carpet. It's nasty, it's dirty, it's ripped, it's burnt from when the previous owner did the downpipe install. And you know, I want to make sure there's no rust or anything under the floorboards, get it all treated and coated. So, you know, I've got a second. The truck's gonna have to sit here for a while. I don't have the 911 in the garage, so it's kind of the perfect time to go ahead and start this up. So I'm gonna get started. I'm gonna start the ripping and the tearing. We're gonna get the interior out. I'm not gonna really go through that step by step because it should be pretty straightforward, just nuts and bolts. We're gonna pull the carpet out and roll out the new stuff. But let me show you what I got. Here's what I got. This auto custom carpets. Did some looking around online. This was a good price. I think it's around 150, 200 bucks or something like that. I don't think it comes with any instructions or anything, but here it is. This probably needs to get laid out for a while so it has a good, so it can stretch out, but here it is. This is a big old piece of rubber. Probably should have done this before I started the project, but this is not all going to happen in one day. It's a weekend deal, so, but you can get the idea. It's black plastic. All right, so it's got some instructions after it's laid out. I don't know if you have to cut or not. So it's got some instructions. This is the front. Do not replace in direct sunlight. Has to warm, so it's about that temperature. It's a warm weekend here, so we'll let that hang out. We'll also spread out, I guess this is the insulation. So, all right, well, that's it. On to the next thing. Yeah, the first thing you run into is the completely stripped out low range transfer case selector bolts in there. They're gone, so they'll probably have to get drilled out. Super awesome. This is like the rusty hardware was my number one worry, and it's kind of coming to fruition. Next thing we're gonna do is remove these two front seat bolts because we're gonna let that hang out. The ground. Sorry about the ping in the background. I don't think it's gonna go away. It's kind of stuck on. Oh, that's not a factory bolt. And thank God these things don't have electric seats, man. It's always a pain in the butt trying to get electric seats out of a car. It's good most of the time because they don't work. All right, so the seat bolts are out. I'm gonna unclip that, probably for the seatbelt notification. I have to remove this seatbelt Torx head bit and unplug that last one, and then the seat is coming out. And she's out. So yeah, just 4 bolts, seatbelt, dinger donger. Man, that is so annoying. And then we'll pull the console out, pull the other seat out, then we'll get the back seat. I'm not gonna film the rest of that because it's gonna take too long. All right, as it's still beeping, let's just take a peek at these floors. And yeah, hey, not bad, good. You know, these little sills are what I'm worried about, but they don't look too bad, but we'll start pulling the rest of that out so it fits. But that's not so scary. I'm more worried about the back because these windows, historically do leak a little bit. Not so much in mine right now, but I'm sure they do. So let's get the rest of this out. All right, seats out. That's how you know it's serious. Just to work on the back seats. Gotta get the rest of this junk out of here. You kind of forget how much stuff you end up have rolling around on the back of a truck until you do something like this. So yeah, let's get it out. All right, so here's where I'm at. So the best way to get to these two nuts on this side, there's two that hold the seat in, they're really hard to see, is with just, you know, a lot of extensions, and they'll break loose. The problem I'm having is on this side, they are not cooperating because they're just nubs. It's just a rusty mess down there. So maybe if I can loosen this side and kind of pull up on it, maybe those rusty ones will just kind of break free and I can just put some new hardware in. So let me wail on her a little bit because I'm sure that's the way to fix the problem. Yeah, that comes up and these are not even, they're just like barely in there. That's just a bummer. Big bummer. I guess I can also undo the nut on this side. And let me do that. There's a nut. Bring you over in here. See that nut right there? I can undo it here. And maybe that will let me at least pull the seat off. Try that. All right, here we go. Look, another Papa lock hotkey that doesn't hold anything, but let's pull this back and see what we got. Sorry about the lighting. So this side looks pretty promising, not bad at all. Pretty clean, actually. Let me zoom out here. But then we got this side, which is gonna be kind of, you can already see, you know, where the buildup is. So let's, man. All right, well, I'm gonna have to do that with two hands. Can't film that. Just a little tuggy tug. It's not really secured with or by anything. So okay, it's out, at least for the most part. I still have this annoying bit to deal with, but that's a part of the process. So honestly, the floor looks really good. I might pour 15 some of the portions of it. Man, this is so loud, so annoying. But yeah, we'll check it out and we'll see what the next steps are gonna be. Alright, so there's a little bit of rust in here. It's not anything, it's just kind of like surface rust in some of these seams. What I want to do is vacuum it out, clean it off the best I can, and hit it with some Pour 15 just to kind of seal it in there. Just kind of get this all cleaned up and, you know, just make the best of it. I'll just show you the before and after. I'm not going to do anything crazy. I'm just gonna, you know, kind of do it to the best of the ability to just kind of clean it up so it doesn't become a long-term issue. We've reached that part of the video that I didn't film because it took me a long time to get here. I removed this panel. Wasn't easy. You're supposed to take the whole interior out to get to it apparently, but I made some adjustments and we found some rust. A couple of little spots there. You know, they don't go through the body, but I've kind of prepped it and sanded it and done the thing to it. Now we're gonna pour 15 in it. It's getting late at night, and you know, this really quick project has now turned into a whole ordeal, as it usually does. But that's the way life works. All right, so we've got the pour 15 gloss black that's gonna be going on in the truck. I use the prep material to kind of prep the area on these sills that I'm going to do first. I'm going to do that on both sides. I'm just going to get a paintbrush and just paint it on. Like I said, you can sprays work, but this stuff's real solid. It kind of gets in and just becomes one with the rust. It's not overkill. It's just, it makes me feel better, so that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to crack this open, paint it up, and then let it dry, and then try to get this interior back in, because this is getting out of hand. All right, so we've got the pour 15 applied in the sills here. Gonna let that dry. It's gonna dry hard, sticky, and black, which is great. And while I'm waiting for that to dry, I'm gonna grab the rest of my sound deadening material and just coat some more of the floor. Just kind of get things spread out a little bit more, trans tunnel and whatnot, and might help insulate and do a little bit of sound deadening action while I'm in here. Not needed, not really the end of the world. Don't really mind how the truck is sound-wise, but I'm here, might as well do it. All right, so yeah, a little sound deadening. I'm not gonna go crazy. I still have to make sure that it's not gonna impact the cushion mat that goes down before I put the rubber down, so I don't wanna go too crazy. We're just waiting for the pour 15 to dry, which again, pour 15 is expensive. It's like $60 for that little thing. So you wanna use it the best you can. Don't leave the lid off or anything, because it's pricey. So let's talk about pain points here. You know, I think the only good way to do this, if you want full access to the sills, is remove all the interior bits all the way around, which I'll do one day. I'm just not into it right now. This is just supposed to be a little bit quicker, because you kind of end up in this situation where stuff's just kind of hanging out. And it's just super annoying. There's a bolt, a screw back there, and a couple clips. There's one here. There's one there. This all kind of connects. There's some hidden ones here, back there, one there. I mean, it's kind of a mess, and old plastics don't want to bend, and I hate doing interior work. That's just me. There's no great way to do it. You know, you just have to pull the seatbelt bolts and whatnot. So it's not the end of the world, but I'm probably going to get in the comments, people, when I'm showing how I did it all. It's just, it took too much, didn't really want to film it, so that's that. So it's all going back in. All right, so I am semi-reassembled at this point. Minimal loss of additional hardware, minimal broken plastic, less heartache. This wasn't that fun, guys. If you're looking to do this, reserve a whole weekend. You're gonna find stuff, especially if you're not familiar with what the interior of a truck's like. Your particular truck, there's always gonna be surprises. So I'm gonna go ahead now and clean the rest of it out and just lay the new floor down and see what it looks like, and see where I might need to cut and whatnot. That's going to be the important part. All right, so I put the new one over the old one, and it is the right size. That's fine, but there's going to be a lot of holes and things I'm going to have to make to allow it to fit properly. You know, I've got to cut the hole for the transfer case and the console and all that. But here's the disappointing part. Now, maybe you're supposed to keep the old, bottom portion of the carpet. Yeah, it didn't come with a whole lot of insulation or whatever this stuff is. So I don't know if that's good or bad. I don't really care. It's just kind of annoying. It doesn't really fit in any good way. Almost looks like it's for a 2-wheel drive. I definitely ordered a 4-wheel drive, so I don't know. Oh yeah, here's the directions. Basically saying you got to figure it out yourself. They're not real helpful. So what I'm probably gonna do is lay the old carpet over the new carpet and just kind of stencil where I'm gonna have to make my cuts. You know, I think that's probably the easiest way to go about it. We'll, you know, kind of figure it out from there and then lay it in. All right, so I made my marks and now we're gonna toss it in the other truck. Still not sure what I'm gonna do with the padding. It's just not very, it just doesn't line up to anything, so I might just chuck it. All right, so here's the fit, and it's not, I mean, obviously there's gonna be some trimming that's gonna be needed, right? But it's not bad. I just have to get this, you know, the humps out and kind of smooth it out and make some small cuts up there by the firewall to kind of get it to pad down a little bit. But overall, it's not bad. So let me just keep at it. All right, so things are looking a little bit better. This is the tricky part, right? You gotta adjust and move things around and cut and just kind of get things figured out because I'm not really sure what the final step is before I start installing seats. I think that's it. I think I just have to start putting the seats back in and adjust from there. Unfortunately though, that would, I mean, the most ideal way to do it would be the front seats first, but then it limits access to the back. So I don't know, I'll make up my mind on how this goes. I've measured things out better on this side than the other side, but I'm gonna let this sit and then just kind of start cinching things around. All right, welcome back. Back seats back in, panels are back on. A lot of BS of getting this all back together. Not super straightforward, but what I'm gonna do now is, see, I marked some of these holes, but they're not correct, so I'm gonna go under the truck and drill up from the bottom to mark where the holes are to secure the seat mounts for the driver and the passenger seat. That's the best way, I think, to go about doing the refitting of the seats. It is day 3 of the carpet vinyl install, and we've got the driver's seat in. So that took a little longer than I expected. It's really kind of, it's tough to, even if you drill the holes from the bottom, you don't have a lot of access to see them from the bottom. You can only get to like one and the one on the other side. And then once you get it through, I mean, you can't just poke these screws through the vinyl. It's tough, it's thick. I mean, look how thick that is. That's not just gonna shove through, but that's okay. But I did get the driver's seat in. I still didn't get the console and the passenger seat. While this driver's seat was out, I also stuffed a pool noodle in the side and the center. So I've got, I mean, it feels to me amazingly, the difference is amazing in the support compared to how it was, which gives me a better driving position, which kind of, along with the smell of the new vinyl, kind of feels like I got a new truck, which is fun. So again, this floor is going to take a while to settle. It still needs to be tweaked and whatnot, but I just want to get everything kind of put back together for the most part. And we're going to go ahead and get the other seat in now. We're using the poke and check method. Poke through with whatever long screwdriver you've got, and then kind of get the thread started on the bolt and then rattle her down. All right, we are getting there. I got both seats in. The console is just in there, you know, provisionally for the most part. It was almost impossible to find the original mounting holes, so I just screwed it real hard into the floor. Gonna handle that problem at a later date. But already the interior is just looking a lot cleaner. I mean, the seats probably need to get cleaned out a little more. I'm just running out of time for this project, so trying to get everything back in. The last thing is the shifter high-low boot. That needs to be configured a little differently. I need to get that in there better and sealed because it is a little noisy. So that's gonna be the next thing I'm gonna do. All right, so I am done, and I think I've bloodied almost every knuckle on both hands in the making of this vinyl floor install. But let's just check it out. It's been 3 days. I never like doing things that leaves a vehicle stranded in the driveway, but sometimes it's kind of worth it. So here it is. It's not perfect. This needs to start, you know, I need to drive it, needs to heat up, it needs to kind of move around. I got some folds that need to get pushed out, but I'm gonna go take it on a drive and start doing that. But the vinyl floor is installed and it is much better. I've cleaned the interior out a little bit more, so it's a good reset for the truck. I've sealed off any areas that might start rusting, pour 15 things, and just kind of gone through and did everything a good refresh. Like I said, the truck has been fine since the engine rebuild, so I can't say the truck's been amazing in good faith, but it's definitely a thing. Here's the other side. This lined up a little bit better, but still needs to, I mean, vinyl floors never look perfect. Let's be honest. But this looks, you know, I think better than what we had before. It's got a nice kind of plasticky smell, makes the truck feel more modern as far as just that old musty smell of the old carpet. So yeah, let's take it for a spin, make sure everything's lined up. So I'm gonna get breakfast. What I would do if you were gonna do this, again, set aside more than just a day. It's gonna take a while. And that has gotten a little bigger. It takes a lot of different hand tools. Again, if your truck has not been pulled apart, you know, you really get to know what's on the inside of it. It's, I mean, again, things come out simple, but it's a lot of interior plastic. It's a lot of sharp edges. It's a lot of cutting and finagling. It's not just a cut and dry thing. It's probably easier if you get just the pre-cut cloth floor, but this one was a little tougher.